Hey guys, it's Miss Coconut, and today is tinfoil hat time. So I'm making a smoke blend, so I decided to talk to y'all today about a interesting theory that, most people when you start to look into the biblical creation stories, you're going to come across many cultures that have their own story. So you will eventually run into the story of there was a planet called Nibiru, which kind of comes into our system every, I think, 3,600 years. And from that planet or whatever it is, comes a race of beings called the Anunnaki. Okay? And the story goes is that the Anunnaki came on an exploration mission to mine for gold because they needed gold to substantiate their existence on their planet. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible that a race of beings could come from another system to look for gold, but if you're into alchemy, then you know that gold can be obtained by transmuting lead. So I'm not sure why they would have to leave their system to come, but okay. So many people believe they landed in ancient Sumeria, which we all know was Africa, no matter what the maps say today. And Sumeria was a very advanced civilization that kind of like popped up out of nowhere, being the leading forerunners in archaeology, architecture, arts, math, astronomy, technology, language, writing. They were very advanced. So a lot of people hold to the theory that they were given that information by the ancient aliens, okay? So there is an American author by the name of Zachariah Tetchin who says that he translated some of these texts, and this is where he comes up with the idea that the Anunnaki were from another system. They came here with some slaves to look for the gold, and they began to mine the gold out of Africa. The slaves rebelled and were killed off. And at this point, we're now introduced to a particular deity, god, alien called Enki, who engineered new slaves out of the cavemen that existed on Earth at the time and an Anunnaki. And some say that they killed one of their gods and mixed that with the blood and the red clay and gave us Adam, okay, or Aduma, which basically means red man or man from clay or slave. So they created a new race of beings on Earth that would mine gold for them, and this set into place the existent system of slavery that we encounter today, where we work and work to give the evil rulers of this world their gold. At some point in the story, they also say that the humans were sterile, so they had to re-engineer them to produce more slaves, so they gave them the ability to have sex and procreate, okay? Now, in some of the Bible, when they're talking about the fallen angels coming down to have sex with the women of Earth, this is what they're saying is really happening, that some of the Anunnaki slept with the human women, and they gave us another race of beings called the Nephilim, which they now leave in charge of the dumb humans, which they taught everything to, and kind of put them in place as the rulers of the world. And some people say that's where the royal bloodlines come in. That's why they look so strange and they intermarry, interbreed, etc., because they need to keep the Anunnaki human bloodline intact. Now, when Nibiru, which is the planet they came from, comes into our orbit, they say that it causes such a disturbance that there's a flood. And this is where we get the flood of Noah story from. Now, it is also reported that the gods or the Anunnaki took pity on their poor slaves, which I don't believe. I think they just, was smart, thinking, hey, let's save some of these specimens for later. So they took some of them and put them on the boat with the Anunnaki while the flood was going on. And once the flood subsided, they had now a starting point once again to build civilization. The problem with this story is that many say that Zecharia Sitchin, the author that translated some of this creation myth, is wrong, and that he mistranslated, and that he completely made up the story of the Anunnaki coming down and engineering humans. I have no idea. I don't know if you know, but this is the kind of thing that I'm sure when you're, kicking back and relaxing, you're probably thinking, where did we come from? Who is God? Where did the idea of God come from? Where did the idea of man come from? Who made man really? And why was man made out of clay? It's very fascinating. And hopefully I've given you something to think about. I'm going to also show you a smoke blend. I don't necessarily, I don't even smoke. But, I love the smell of smoke. So what I'll do is make my smoke blend, and then I will place it on one of the charcoal discs, and I'll just kind of inhale as it's there. I just wanted to give you an alternative option in case some people don't want to smoke other things. This is a less invasive form, I feel. Now, of course, if you're pregnant, if you have medical conditions, this is not for you. Smoking is bad for your health, so I don't want to go into war with anyone. I'm just giving you a very simple recipe on how to DIY a herbal smoke blend. All right, so stay tuned for that. Okay, guys, I know you're thinking, why smoke blend? Because we smell good. We like to relax. We like to burn items for religious or spiritual purposes. We like to meditate. So that's why you would consider making your own herbal blend, okay? So today I have some Damiana, which is a great aphrodisiac actually, and it helps to relax you. So maybe if it's like a couple's night, this could be a good consideration. I have mugwort because it helps with dreaming and it's a natural hallucinogen. And then I have lavender because lavender is very peaceful, reduces your stress, okay? And as you can see, they are in their natural forms. They have like the little sticks and stuff in them. And I simply took my mortar and pestle, which is I'm showing here, right? And I did grind those up in there until they became like a finer powder. And if you're using paper, you definitely want to get this as fine as possible so that it smokes well with the paper, all right? So you're going to remove your sticks. Because I'm using mine on my charcoal disc, I'm actually going to leave my sticks in my blend, okay? And as you can see, it's slightly compacted, so you want to rub it to activate it and get it as fluffy as possible. All of the smoke blends traditionally have three components. You have a base, which is like a light and fluffy herb, and then you have a supportive herb, which is going to give you the direction of the smoke. Like if you want to focus on love or peace, relaxation, you want to be wild, whatever it is. And then you have a flavor herb that's going to give you that nice twist. You're also going to add honey and water to this to help keep it from drying out too much, okay? And I think that is it. And so you would just simply either use this in your pipe, use this in your paper, or use this on your charcoal disc like I'm about to do right now. Very nice. I love it. Well, thank you for watching. This smells amazing. And as always, Om Shrim Brezi.